Hey guys and dolls. So today I'm doing a quick brush marking video. I recently marked like almost all my brushes. I'm almost done with the process. I've got a few drying over there. And I wanted to share my tips with you because as I was doing it, I realized that some methods worked better than others and the different tapes and stuff like that. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that with you. It's not anything like crazy and out there and like original or anything, but I think that a lot of you guys appreciate these basic videos, and I think they're good ones to have in my arsenal so that way I can refer back to them. And if you want to stick around till the end of the video, there's a little bit of a giveaway. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy my little brush marking video. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the basic things you're going to need. Some kind of like paper towel or some kind of like protectant for the surface that you're working on. Brushes to mark, that should be fairly obvious and hopefully easy to come by for you, otherwise this is kind of useless. Anyway, and then you're going to need some kind of tape. I used Scotch tape and I fiddled around with this and tried a bunch of different types of tape, and I find that this is the one that works the best, at least for me. But you use whatever you have. I used the satin finish, not that it really matters, but there you go. And then you're also of course going to need a polish to mark your brushes. I'm just going to dive into this. So I'm going to grab about 2 inches of tape, cut it off, or rip it off or whatever. And what you want to do is, figure out how much of this you actually want painted. I'm going to do about a little less than 1/4 inch. And lining up the tape can be kind of difficult, so you might need to redo it a few times. So yeah, it looks like I got lucky this time and I won't have to redo it. Oh, no, spoke too soon. So just replace the tape until you get it on there nice and straight. And when you do, make sure that you have a nice tight seal around the top and kind of press it up to get any air bubbles out. Just because polish can seep in there and then you won't get the nice clean line. And then once you do have it folded over, don't wrap it around a second time. That's a rookie mistake that I definitely made. It ends up making it so that there's a very thick and like obvious line with the polish to where just the handle is. So what I like to do is I take the tape and fold that upper corner down. And that way you also have a tab to pull it off, because it can be a little tricky sometimes getting the tape off. So you're going to need a bigger piece for like the face brushes. Now I do also want to mention that you don't even have to go through the headache of lining up the tape and like making these little tabs and doing all this. If you want to, you can totally just freehand it and just paint the ends. The only thing is then you won't have as crisp and clean of a line. But that's really the only major downside. I just think it's just a cleaner look to have them taped off. It can be a little tricky when you have like tapered ended brushes, so just be extra careful with those ones and try to get it as straight as possible and try to not go over it too many times. So now we're going to get down to actually painting them, and it only takes about 2 coats of this polish to get it pretty much opaque enough. Because it's a black handle, you're really not going to notice any gaps, and it looks really, really, really pretty on black handled brushes. Here I have a white handled brush, and unfortunately you're gonna need multiple coats on this one unless you put down a black polish first. So just for the white one, I'm gonna first put a layer of Orly matte vinyl down, and I'm painting that up on the brush. Okay, and then we're gonna set that guy aside, and we'll get back to him in a little bit. So the colored polish that I'm actually going to use to mark my brushes today is by Hard Candy. It's called Beetle. It's essentially the exact same thing as Orly Space Cadet and Max Meaning Green. In fact, it's not essentially, they're basically all identical dupes to each other. So that's kind of cool. I personally like to brush up when I'm painting my brushes. You might like to brush down from the tip. I like to go up. You do whatever feels right to you. So I just kind of twirl it. I mean, not like manically twirl it, but I just kind of gently, turn it as I'm painting it so I can make sure that I get it all around. And then I do make sure that I get enough on the tip, because the tip sometimes gets ignored from painting, and it's a bit different with the wider brushes. You just want to make sure that it's all very smooth and that there's no lumps in it. And go ahead and lay it down to dry. I went ahead and let those dry for about 15 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick second coat On the second coat, you want to make sure that everything's super, super smooth. So take your time. Even though I just said a quick second coat, that was incorrect. You want to take your time on this one. And then again, you're going to leave that out to dry. Okay, and then let it sit for about another 15 minutes at least. I usually let them sit for about another hour before I actually take the tape off. So once your brushes have actually dried for enough time to where they're good to go, I'm just going to pull back the tab. And as I go around, I'm going to keep really close to the tape so that the tape doesn't tear, because when it does and then you have to go and remove bits of the tape, it's not very fun at all. There you go. And your brush is marked. Pretty cool stuff. If you wanted to, you could put a coat of like a clear polish like Sèche Vite over the top. I find that it actually kind of diminishes the glow of this particular polish. This one here was covered with Sèche Vite and this one was not. And I don't know how much you'll really be able to tell on camera, but this one has more of a glittery look, whereas this one shows more of that quadrichrome, if you will, color. So yeah, I recommend not doing a top coat. Also because if you do want to change this in the future, you won't have that extra layer of polish on it. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial on brush marking. Some of you might have already watched this and you're kind of saying to yourself like, why do people mark their brushes? Well, I mean, for one, there's the personalization aspect of it, that now, like, my brushes all have, like, this really pretty thing, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool. But then also, when you're a makeup artist and you're on a job where there's going to be multiple makeup artists, you need your brushes marked so that way, you know, you can keep track of what brushes are yours, and if you see someone using your brush, you can be like... So now for the fun part, I'm going to be giving away one bottle of the hard candy beetle polish that I used to mark my brushes in this video. If you'd like to enter, just leave a comment below stating what your favorite polish is and why. Any comments that just say enter me will be disqualified. Also, only leave one comment to keep it fair and to make it so that the amount of comments is not overwhelming. If I see more than one comment from any particular person, you will be disqualified. For more information and more rules, please see the down bar, 'cause I'm going to have all the rules, including anything that I forgot to mention in this video. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which I think is going to be a review for the Wet n Wild holiday palettes. So until my next video, remember to be vintage or tacky, just be yourself.